All right, it's time for skill number 4, operations with positive and negative integers. So for all these problems, go through and just put it in simplest form. Letter A, when you're adding positives and negatives, negative 4 plus 2, there's more negatives than positives, so that is going to have a final answer of negative 2. Letter B, 8 minus a negative 3. If you're taking out 3 negatives, that is equivalent to adding 3 positives. So 8 plus 3 ends up equaling 11. Letter C, a negative times a positive is a negative. So negative 7 times 2 is a negative 14. Letter D, it's a fraction and you have some work to do on top before you can divide by negative 2. So first take care of what's on top of that fraction. 5 times a negative 4 is a negative 20. So it becomes a negative 20 divided by a negative 2. And dividing two negatives gives you a positive, and 20 divided by 2 is going to be 10. So that's the simplest form. And last one, a negative 1 to the 5th power is really like having 5 negative 1s all multiplied. And if you pair them up, all of those negative 1s multiplied, each pair gives you positive 1. So these two multiplied give you a positive 1, these two give you a positive 1. So you're going to have a 1 times a 1 times a negative 1. And 1 times 1 is 1 times 1 more negative 1 ends up being just negative 1 minus a negative 8. A negative 1 minus a negative 8, taking away 8 negatives ends up equaling adding 8 positives. And negative 1 plus 8 gives you a final answer of 7. So that is the examples for skill number 4. Study those. And next, here are 5 problems for you to try. Go ahead and pause the video, copy these down, work them out, and then watch the rest of the video and see how you did. All right, hopefully you have answers for these 5. Here we go. 6 plus a negative 1. More positive than negative, so 6 plus a negative 1 ends up being positive 5. Next, negative 5 minus 2. If you already have 5 negatives and you're going 2 smaller, you end up with a negative 7. Next, negative 4 times negative 5. Multiplying 2 negatives is a positive, and 4 times 5 is 20, so that's positive 20. Letter D is a fraction again. The top can be simplified. Negative 8 times 2 is a negative 16, and that's being divided by 4. Remember, the fraction bar just means division. Negative to positive divided is a negative, and 16 divided by 4 is 4, so that ends up being negative 4. And last one, negative 2 to the 4th power. Remember that 4 means you have 4 negative 2's multiplied, and then you're adding to that a negative 3. And every 2 of these products of negative 2 multiplied together give you positive 4. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 times another 4 plus a negative 3. And that ends up being 16 plus a negative 3, which is 13. So 13 is the simplest way to write that original problem. And that's the end of skill number 4.